Level request number 2. Who would have thought that he'd make a second level request video? I did, because I'm making it right now. And you bet your asses that I'll review your puny levels. We have 4 levels here: the Abyss, Simple, Preview 2, and TBoT. And if you guys think, let me know in the comments. Anyway, let's get cracking. Anyway, the Abyss by Biiian. I want to start off by saying this level is part dedicated to me, so I'm a little biased, but thanks for that, man. Let's get into the feedback. First, the block design. It's okay, though it seems empty and uninspired. It's super hard to see in a lot of parts. I feel like that's the intention, though maybe at least make the block designs brighter. That aside, these block designs could be much better if you experiment with the colors and other blocks. Block designs that only have one type of block, or the base blocks, in them seem very 1.9 2.0, and it doesn't make your level seem creative, unfortunately. Also, I encourage you to mess around with those HSV sliders, you know, the hue, saturation, and brightness, up in the colors, especially hue, because adding variations on hue always makes your block designs feel more colorful. You can see that in a lot of featured levels. Anyway, moving on, I'd love to see more effects. The effects that are already in the level seem a bit rushed and only seem like maybe 2 triggers. Like I said, shake things up a little. Experiment with effects, add more. It's hard to read the gameplay because of the effects as well. You can make them more subtle, but you don't have to. It would help. Honestly though, I can see a lot of potential in you. Just fix those couple things. The gameplay towards the end is fun, but like I said, make it more readable. Indicators, air deco especially, could help towards making fun and readable gameplay. I really like the atmosphere at the beginning. It's slower paced part in the song. It really matches the decoration. The decoration at the start is okay. Maybe the block design could be fixed. Again, adding hue variations helps a lot. But at the start, it's okay. The second section is also pretty good. I wish it was more visible though. This whole level is just a little hard to see. And again, it's a little empty. And the colors could be much better. And the block design is pretty decent too. You have a lot to work on with emptiness though. Overall, great work. I hope to see you create more in the future. I'll give this a 5 out of 10. Righto, it's time for Simple by Leo5555. That's a lot of 5s. This level kind of reminds me of Home Depot by N-Level. That silhouette style level. Home Depot is of course a legendary demon, and I don't think it should be compared to any other level though, because no one can create a better level than Home Depot. Anyway, it seems you've gone for a simple style, as stated in the name and the description, though in my opinion it's not as effective as, say, an optical level with a modern style. I can see what you were going for though. It just gives off the impression that it is low effort. And your description says that simpler doesn't always mean worse, and while that is true in a lot of cases, for this one it just seems empty and rushed. I recommend you try implementing different shades of black or grey or whatever. The gameplay seems randomly thrown together and it doesn't really sync well with the song. Seems kinda copy and paste in some parts. The structures are okay. They do fill up some empty spaces, but also air deco would add a lot as well. The build up is very empty. I just think more than one background this level could be great. One thing I do like is the custom portals, so I think it's a cute addition. And you have some custom portals for every type of portal too. It might be a little hard to read, but if executed right, it could be great. It's incredibly hard to read at the end. There's a couple of blind jumps, and the orbs, they're especially hard to read. There's no way to distinguish what orb it is that I'm clicking on. And that's really important when you're doing custom orbs and portals. You don't want it to end up like the end of Duello Maestro. I also wish you put a speed portal at the end. That was super hard to read, but overall it's a nice concept. I expect to see good things come from you in the future. I'll give this a 5 out of 10. Alright, Preview 2 by Naxen. Now obviously this is just a preview. I'm not going to review it that much. The finished level will add more to it, of course. It won't just be 3 sections. This level looks like the exact opposite of the last level. That's a neat little coincidence. It uses the rainbow blending to give the objects a rainbow color. Though this concept, it's not that creative. Levels like this have been around since 2.0. It could very well be creative though, depending on how you use it. I can see you made a lot of effort to give detail to the blocks as much as you can, but it just doesn't work. It's a little blinding too. The gameplay is alright, just needs to be more readable. The last robot section is very empty, but that's probably because you haven't decorated it yet. And whatever you do, do not make the orbs this small. It's really hard to read. Though, it's a nice preview, and I'm excited to see what's to come. Good luck with this level. I won't give this a rating, as it's not complete. Okay, the last level, TBoT by Biiian Octopus. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Anyway, I can see you took inspiration from very early 2.1 levels. The style hasn't really aged well, honestly. You can do much better than this. First, the gameplay. This gameplay is pretty bad. It's extremely hard to read. Spikes that pop up at the last section are not fun at all. It just seems like copy and paste in most sections. UFO is super janky. The rest of the level is terrible sync, and it's just randomly placed everywhere. The block design is very messy and inconsistent. The colors aren't great, they could be much better. Later in the level there's just random block designs that don't fit with the theme of the level. Some of them even look like you copied the blocks from some featured levels, but didn't take the color into consideration. The drop just destroys my eyes. There's so much shaking that it makes a Danceman level feel as soft as a leaf dropping from a table. I'm sorry, but just don't spam shake triggers like that. It makes your level really not fun. The whole level's empty. It doesn't have air deco, ground spikes, backgrounds, or anything. I can see that the first section has an attempt at a background, but let me show you something. Generally, backgrounds should move, right? To create the parallax effect. What I always like to do is set the background to a group. I make it move 1000 on the x-axis with a time of around 40 to 80 seconds, depending on the level. This gives your level a bit more liveliness and makes it less static. I would love to see more move triggers as well. Overall, this is an okay start, just please consider gameplay, move triggers, and emptiness. I can see potential in you though. Good luck for the future. I'll give this a 3 out of 10. Alright, and that's going to do it for the end of this video. Like always guys, send your IDs in my DMs or in the comments below and I'll give them a review. Just a reminder, this series is 100% for criticism and feedback, constructive criticism of course. And if you don't expect feedback, then don't suggest it. I'm not one of those types of YouTubers that makes lazy content by just playing the level and not saying anything about it. So if you don't expect feedback, don't request them, I should say. I'm the one reviewing. But anyways, send your IDs in the comments or in my DMs and I'll give them a look and put them in the next video. See ya.